We got absolutely worked. Swing for 14k, and that's game. We're just right outside of Crossing Collectibles, which is where we are going to be playing our first ever One Piece TCG tournament. A little nervous, a little scared. We're probably going to be going 0-5. We're going to be running a deck that I've been getting wrecked with, but since it was the first deck I started learning the game with, way back during Romance Dawn, Paramount War era, we're going to see if we can take a dub. It is going to be the red ZORO, a little bit different than the original deck I used to run, so it's going to be the red ZORO animal style with the 2020 choppers. We'll see how it plays. We're going to record all the games. If not, then I'll just let you know how it went. Of course, we want to win all of them, but expecting to lose. I've been practicing against Dofi, been practicing against Shanks, and it's super hard to take those two big decks down. So, me and ZORO, first ever One Piece tournament. Let's see if we can take some dubs down. See you guys at the games.
Round 1. Fight!
Starting off on our first round here, we are going to be going up against a Dofi player. Yay. This game had a super rough start. Our first play is going to be the Searcher Nami looking for 3-cost Rush Zoros or the 5-cost Rush Luffy mostly. But a Chopper's good too if it does come up. Somehow we whiff entirely on that first search, so not even one Straw Hat, which is going to be the beginning of our downfall. And on our next turn, we play the 3-cost Chopper from OP08 to bring out some more bodies on the board. And like I said, a super rough start to this game. We're actually unable to put anyone out there, so it's going to be his turn, and he's going to do what Dofi does best. It does put out some of the bounce laws as well as a blocker boa later on in the game. A couple of turns later, Jinbei comes out and the law bouncing begins even more this time. Even though my board started off pretty well this turn, he is able to decrease my momentum, get rid of a bunch of bodies, using that bounce effect as well as just taking care of my entire board. This turn, not looking good. I know in hand I didn't have any rush cards, no ZORO, no Kid and Killer, 0 Luffy, so only play I could have done is delay the inevitable. I do end up putting 2 blocker choppers up, and we'll see where this goes. His board right now is filled with 5k damage or more, so I know on this turn, or in the next turn at least, he is going to be starting to swing. It's not looking too good. On this next time, we do play some rush cards, but just not enough firepower to control his board. He set it pretty well. We weren't able to find anything, so first game, a little rough. We do end up taking the L on game 1. We got absolutely worked. 0-1, so lost the first ever game, pulled 0 rush, 0 attackers, couldn't get any searcher. On to the next one.
Round 2. Fight!
For our second round, we're up against a purple Luffy. I played a couple games against Luffy, so although it's the first one in an official tournament, we know a little bit how the deck likes to play. Luffy's leader ability is taking one of its own life to ramp one more Dawn available. My strategy out the gate is going to be rushing as much as possible, attack his life every second I get. We tend to see around 2 ramps per game, which would drop him to a 3 life leader, which means 4 total swings, and he is done. On the first turn, we do run our Nami Searcher, and it actually does what it's supposed to this time, and we find our Rush ZORO. Now, blunder number 1. Do not put that Dawn under the leader. Something I learned from my opponent post-game is that by putting that Dawn there, he knew that I wouldn't be playing one of my staple cards in this deck, your Shut Up and Come With Us. That card does help me to bring one more extra 3-cost body on board for 1 Dawn, and by putting that Dawn there, it just signified to him that he can swing with his leader, and he felt comfortable with it. As you guys can see here, it does end up with me burning a valuable resource to use one of my counters. Don't do that. Blunder number 1, there it is. Here we see him using his leader ability for the first time by dropping one of his life and ramping 1 Dawn. He plays his first body being Onami. Like I said earlier, we are going for the game ASAP. First we swing with the leader. Sequencing is pretty important. Usually the leader does swing first before you play anything else. And then we play a 3-cost Rush ZORO, which will be not going through on that hit, but that is a-okay. The opponent does leader ability again and plays Eustace, which helps him recover the Dawn, as well as playing a Gamma Knife to focus out my ZORO. On this turn, we really want to knock out his life because I am holding a Diable Jambe to end the game. We swing at least twice, once with ZORO, and we play one of our favorite cards, Kid and Killer, which he does block and counter out of. He has an amazing turn here using Lin. He does heal up 1, and I also end up losing my Kid and Killer into my life, which was a very important card with that whole 7k plus 8k swing. It's a very important card that I love using, that we would have needed, but we'll be okay, we'll be okay. Our turn next, we actually get to start playing some big boys and drop the Dragon SR, which plays perfectly with Zoro's leader ability, giving Dragon a huge swing for 9 plus 1, so 10, and then Zoro does get those 2 extra Rested Dawn to be a 7k swing. We are nearing endgame with this round by putting more dragons out and then adding pressure. Luffy does go down to 0 life, and next turn is pretty much going to be endgame. As far as what I am going to play, it will be the Goldie Roger. So even though he is putting out his blocker Law, like I said, the Roger will not be bothered by this. If he activates his blocker, it's GG's. We do end up playing Roger and go all in on 1 swing. Crazily, he does end up countering out, had a couple cards to counter out, especially the Gum Gum Giant, which gives him a little bit more. He does end up taking a couple of my life on this turn, and his resources are limited. I believe he has 2 cards in hand, which means Diable Jambe is going to be taking it down onto that next turn. And for our last turn, we do use 1 Dawn for Diable Jambe to negate any blockers onto our leader. Use the remaining 9 Dawn to swing for 14k, and that's game. We took it up 1-1. This is Martin, if you guys don't know. Here's his socials, by the way.
My name is,
you want to say, Martin?
I'm at Martin Matreo, here hanging out with Rich. Congratulations, 1-1. Let's keep it all the way. Fighting.
Oliver, you said you're 0-2.
I'm 0-2 right now. This is ass.
You're playing.
I'm playing now.
Whoa.
Next round, round 3.
Round 3. Fight!
So, lost. Wasn't able to record the game. It was a little bit too awkward of an area, so we went up against a blue Dofi. Let's see if we can take down the next round. Let's see. Hopefully, we win the next one, 2-2. Are you Milo? Crazy. Good luck. What deck are you playing?
Round 4. Fight!
We're going first, and per usual, we'll always try to start with a searcher. This time we do pick up a Rush Luffy for the game. Milo's first turn with Dofi brings out Perona, so nothing out of the usual just yet. No proper rush we can play yet, so we do search again and end up finding the deck staple 3-cost Rush Zoro from it. And why not pop another searcher early game and grab the chopper that puts up another body. We use the extra Dawn to go 6th lead and take first blood. Milo leads his turn with the Jinbei SR to bring out a free body for the blocker Boa. Nasty ass combo to deal with as always. He also uses his leader to swing and I counter out of it. Super important here to notice, he is building his tempo with the amount of bodies on board, so we do have to start building up our board too. Starting off with Rush Zoro, I do power him up just a bit to go straight to face, and the Boa blocker does come in, supplementing an extra 1,000, and he does counter out of it. I swing leader to leader, and he does counter out of that one as well. Milo starts his turn with the Dofi ability, swings at Zoro, brings Edward Weevil out for a card draw, and then puts out a Perona to reorganize the top of his deck once again. Dofi is just such a powerhouse. The combo is so lethal once it begins. Body after body after body. Options as well if he has a bounce law in hand. Man, he hasn't even swung yet if you think about it. On my turn, we could either go for his board or we can go for his life, and I am leaning more towards the board. We go straight for the Jinbei, knocking him out. My other option would be the Robson, since I do want to save the 5-cost Luffy for a later time. We rush his Weevil, but he does counter out. Milo goes for the kill on Robson, as well as using his leader ability he prepped from the Perona before. Bringing out Jinbei, which also brings out an Edward Weevil, and he draws. It is not looking good. Milo's hitting every combo he needs, and it's working perfectly for him. Very little I can do right now except take the hits for my life. We do a similar thing to last turn, just a bit more power with the extra Dawns added on top. Swinging at both his rusty characters, Jinbei and Weevil both go down. With one extra Dawn, we do play a Nami and grab the Diable Jambe in case we need it for a final blow. And scratch that plan, we do get puddinged. We shuffle our hand into the deck and draw 5, which in this case was pretty lethal. Had a Rush Luffy, Diable Jambe, Kid and Killer, and a Roger in hand to build momentum and take some hits. Oh well, that is scrapped. And let's just say the next 5 cards we pull are not the best. With this board absolutely filled, we gotta do something or I am dead next turn. Starting off with Zoro, we knock out Law, Then we play a new card for the day, Makino. She does give plus 3,000 power to a 1 cost, which is perfect for the Nami on board. He almost blunders and uses his Boa blocker, which I would have gone for the knockout using Zoro, but then he smartens up and takes the Weevil hit. We do have another Makino to play, and I would say my second blunder here, what I should have done is play the Makino over a Searcher Nami and not Makino over Makino. Possible she would have come in handy for the next turn, either as a target to use for one of his swings, or she did end up staying on board, we could activate her main once again, giving a Nami Searcher plus 3k. I think in this instance, looking back, I should have powered the Nami and swung for at least 6k, but alas, hindsight is 2020. Starting with Milo's turn, he does Gravity Blade out 2 big boys, and crazy enough, he asked me if I had that card earlier today, way before the tournament even started, and man's used it on me. SMH. He then plays the Gecko and brings out a Weevil to his hand. This turn we do start to take his board down a bit, but we are short-handed on cards. The Dragon SR as of right now would be the best play, and we clear his board just a bit, but for sure not enough to live next turn. Surprisingly, we do survive another turn, but for sure just not enough juice in my hand, not enough gas in the tank to take a dub against Milo. On his next turn he does realize this, and he ends up connecting his hits to my leader, and that's a GG's. Took his first dub against our first game. How's it feel?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm only losing to this guy all day. Dofi Dofi. How do you think we played?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, pretty good. It was fun. 1 in 3. We're gonna try next time. See where it goes. Hopefully I don't face another Dofi.
Final round. Fight!
Alright, my round 5 opponent. Took the dub, GG's. That's fine with you, brother. 2 and 3. There it is, first game. Where's ranking? Where are we? Where are we? Number 20. Rich Los Angeles, first game.
It's Gerald.
2 and 3 out of 28.
I beat Gerald? What the fuck?
GG's. There's Ollie, 23.
Kobe. No. Jordan.
First tournament, it was a lot of fun. Had a good time. ZORO was the first deck I ever learned, and I loved this card, so I wanted to play a tournament with him. Not exactly the best deck nowadays, so we're probably gonna be switching out. Maybe like finish the month with Zoro, and then start learning some more meta decks, because that new Nami, which is right over here, just got dropped. So we need to get top 64 in the regionals. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, not sure if I'll post this one since we did kind of already had our I guess summary of the tournament, how our day was. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. As far as the OPTCG, I've been opening it for years. I've been collecting it for years. As well as, if I'm going to be ripping this much stuff, I might as well start playing, right? The winter prizes are really cool. Nationals looks really cool, being able to travel and go around. I see what my boy Benini's doing with Pokemon, and I think they're just traveling around, meeting everyone's really cool. And I think the super big cherry on top is the community. Everyone I played with, super nice, very understanding. I was like, hey, this is my first time playing. They walked me through some stuff. Some players even let me do a little Control Z going back and doing a real swing that I could do, which did end up getting me one of the wins. So honestly, a lot of fun, great community. Every person I played with helped me out in a way, whether it was deck stylizing, had some great conversation. Would love to keep on going. There are tournaments here at the Crossing Collectibles, specifically on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Tuesday one's perfect because it's right after stream. The Saturday, a little 50-50 because it's during stream. Maybe I could time some stuff to get it going onto that tournament. But overall, had a lot of fun. Excited to see where this goes. Maybe we'll play some more tournaments, maybe some more vlogs. But for now, my name's Rich. Thank you for watching, guys. Please like the live, subscribe, comment down below how bad I was at playing the TCG and how bad of a deck Zoro really is. Thank you, guys. Cheers.